Howdy folks, Tex here. Welcome to Southern Belle Bigfoot. Let me introduce y'all to a great friend of mine, Selena.
Hey y'all, I'm Selena. I started this channel because I had my own encounter, and I know what it's like to be ridiculed and unable to share my experiences. I want to give everyone a safe haven to share their encounters with these magnificent beings. I love to hear yours as well. Please email them to me at cwlenagarrett@gmail.com. And if you'd like to support me in my journey to the truth, my Cash App is $Selena Bigfoot, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Well, hello everybody. If she's not going to say it, I will.
Oh, I was waiting for you to tell us we was live. You know, Tex, I have to wait for you to just tell me what to do.
I'm going to give you a hint. As soon as that thing goes off, everybody's looking at it. So,
oh, okay. Hey, y'all. I love all y'all so much. Your names are going by so fast, I can't catch them. Lord mercy. I remember seeing Gary Spikes, Pops, love you, appreciate what you do. Mickey G, of course, because she's awesome. And then we have Sharon, our mods. Don't forget those. Bobby Younce, David Blake, Keith from 1675. Y'all know I love y'all very much. But the names was going by so fast, I'm just having to read who's in front of me right now. So Trinity Rain, thank you so much for coming. Oh my gosh, I love that name. Okay, y'all, Catherine McSwain, you sweet thing, you. Thank y'all so much for coming. We have Donna Copus, and I have been pushing little bits, like I did with Dr. Meldrum, because I was so fascinated with this woman, and I wasn't on the phone with her but like 4 minutes. I said, I gotta have her on the show. She's so cool. But anyways, she is just from a child, started interacting with these things and knowing they're there and grew up, with them on her property. And so I thought, how cool would it be if she tells us about that and what that was like? So yes, thank you all for coming. And Lord Tex, thank you so much. I know he gets tired of hearing that. Lord mercy. Are you sure you don't get tired of hearing that? Because I'm like, I don't know what to do. Somebody call Tex. But
well, you're welcome, darling.
I
was talking to Donna backstage, and I'm like you. I'm fascinated. I can't wait to wind her up and let her go because I want to hear more.
I know. Well, let's bring her out. Donna Copus, everybody.
There she is.
Hello. Thank you for coming, darling. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, I have tooted your horn. I said I did the same thing with her that I did with Dr. Meldrum because there's something about her voice. She just fascinates me. So, Donna, thank you for coming. And I want to tell you that we have the best people that supports this show. Tex has some good supporters too, and they come over here to visit with me, and I fell in love with them too. So I just love so many people. And I said, people say that, but I literally do. And I think they'll find that out the more they get to know me. I do not meet enemies. I just don't like enemies. I love to love everybody. So we got some really good listeners, really good subscribers, and I have really tooted your horn. So I want you to start and tell everybody how all this come about.
Well, first off, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I love your voice. I think well, like I said, I live in the country. I grew up in the country. My dad was a hunter, trapper, dug roots. We lived on a 300-acre farm. We had a big farm. Everything we needed was on that farm. The orchards, we had 11-acre berry patches. My grandma's, her gardens weren't gardens, they were fields, because not only did we, all our food came from there, but we also gave to everyone else. And so the cows, the chickens, the pigs, the whole thing. But again, with me, I don't call them, I'm of Shawnee descent. My grandma was full-blood Shawnee, my dad's mom. And so I grew up, the first time I saw one, I was 6. My dad there's a county fair in town, and I want to go to the fair. My dad's rules was he would give you whatever, but you had to make so much of your money yourself. And on this time, of course, he dug roots. That was just part of our living too. I mean, it wasn't just ginseng and that kind of stuff. People talk about sang all the time. But Dad dug everything. He dug yellow root, cohosh, bloodroot, black snake root. I mean, just down the line. I could name them off the whole string.
Wow.
And that was how I grew up. On this day, he'd take me way back in the woods, those cliffs back there, and those big patch of yellow root. People call it golden seal. We make medicine out of it. But we went back there and we was digging. I was sitting there, like I said, I was 6. So I wasn't doing a lot of digging. Dad's doing most of the digging. But we had, of course, the feed sacks, the old burlap feed sacks, what we brought the cow feed in. We'd take them, and one sack was for the roots, the other was for the tops. You have to separate them. So I was sitting there separating them. And we'd been at it for a while, and we had some dug. And then my dad wore bibs, and of course he chewed tobacco. We raised tobacco, so long green from the barn, he'd go and get it. And he got up and walked over this big stump by where we was digging, and he put his tobacco down on that stump. And he said, "Now come on, Duke." He never called me Donna. He never ever did. It was either Donnie Ann or Dookie. And he said, "Come on, Duke, we're gonna go." And I'm grumbling, I want my money. I want to go to the fair. And he's like, "Nah." I said, "Come on, we're going to go." So I'm kind of digging my toe in, and he got me by the hand. We're walking away. And as we're walking away, I look back, and they're sitting where I've been, within 30 feet of where I've been digging. This huge black thing stands up. I mean, literally 8 foot tall. I mean, to me, of course, I'm 6, so you can imagine how big this looks to me. And I'm scared, I'm scared now. And I'm like pulling on Dad's hand. And he just kind of shook my hand. He said, "Knock it off." He said, "It's all right." He said, "You leave him alone, he'll leave you alone. Come on." And I watched it, took the tobacco, and it just walked back up through the cliffs, through the woods, back up into the hills. And we come on home. But that was my first introduction. And I always thought that was Dad's way of introducing me. Because from then on, he taught me the markers, the stacked stones, the shelters, the X's, the Y's, that was the trail markers. And so I grew up interacting. I never really had, people say, of course, Dad taught me not to be stupid. I mean, I grew up like my brothers. I learned to handle a gun. I hunted and I ran the traps with Dad.
By the way, Donna, I love that picture of you carrying your weapon. I said, she looks so freaking tough.
Well, I had 2 older brothers. It was either fight or die. Let me tell you.
I love it.
But I would, first grade, I hated school. I was a terrible child. My poor Dad. I told him, I said, "Dad, you buy me a pony and I'll go to school." He bought me the pony. I ran off on the pony after the 3rd day. Hit the woods like a crazy. My grandma had real long black hair. And she'd braid it down so tight that the skin, when the skin pulls up, she'd take the strips of cloth and she'd wrap it and tie it down. And of a morning, I'd jump out of the bed. And usually I'd have a shirt on or maybe a T-shirt and underpants. And I'd hit that barn and that pony. And I'd be gone. And she'd be chasing me. After I got older, I feel so bad because I said, "Oh, my poor mom, my grandma, my dad. Oh my gosh, that's awful." But I ran the woods. I was never, of course, back then you could do that. You didn't have to worry about nothing. I was on the farm. There's nobody around. I played in the woods. I played in the barns. It was just part of life. The berry patches. I went my grandma to pick berries. So I just kind of took it for granted. They were, wasn't like I seen them every day. I'm not going to say I seen them every day, but I knew they were there.
Right.
So it was like a normal for you almost. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what Dad, he taught me. And he said, they're here. They're just watching us. He's like, they're like our protectors. They're not here to, just don't be stupid. Don't do anything stupid, and you always
Don't
be
disrespect.
thoughtful. Yes,
That's
very.
where we got the term watchers.
Yeah.
From the dad.
That's well, I've had people ask me about the term watchers because there's the thing in the Bible about the watchers that come down and had children with the humans, and what which I don't debate religion or politics, either one. I just don't do that.
Me neither. Me neither.
And I said, well, but you got to understand, we call them watchers because they watch over us, not because we didn't have Bibles. You got to understand, where's Shawnee? Shawnee did not have a Bible. Bibles came with white man. So when they're talking to me about it, they just assume. But I was like, I have no disrespect because I was raised both ways. I go to church. I believe in God. I believe in the Creator. He created everything. So I have my own thing. But the term watchers mean. I actually told one guy he was really getting a little out of hand. I was like, well, you call your angels angels. Well, maybe we call our angels watchers. So just different terminology. But so that was kind of my, like I said, that was my first experience, and it just kind of went on through my lifetime. We interacted, like my dad, I asked my dad was born in 1927, and he was born in the hills, back in the woods. I don't know if I sent you the picture of him.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
The little boy sitting on that cabin steps. That was my dad, and in the middle, the little dark-haired boy in the middle.
They grew up hard, Donna.
Oh,
when I saw that picture, it broke my heart. I thought, Lord mercy, we thought we had it rough.
well, that's a cabin in the woods. Actually, the main cabin burned, and that was the barn. And they redid the old log barn and made it a house. Because Dad is the youngest of 17 kids. His mom and dad both married twice. He's a baby of 17. Of course, like I said, they were both married twice, before. Each one had a family before they had, my dad has 2 full brothers. And so Dad was he was the last in 1927. So you see that, he's sitting there, he told me, he's like, I don't remember my first pair of shoes. I wore moccasins. My dad, Pat made me moccasins. And I got pictures of him going to the old little school here, and most of them boys lined up in them pictures there, they're all barefooted. They got rib overalls on. They got big, long, bare feet sticking out. And I thought, how hard that would be, just you wouldn't think about in this day and age, but that was, they hunted. Their food came from what they killed and what they grew.
Yeah.
And
I'm spoiled. I'll be honest, I'm spoiled because I just go to the freezer and pick out a pack of meat and lay it out. So the fries, they had to do it the hard way. Yep. But yeah, them pictures you sent were so awesome. Tex, you got those, right?
Oh yeah.
Y'all, I've hollered, or not hollered. Had to speak in such a loud voice. Tommy's little hearing aid is not working, so I had to speak so loud that my voice is, look at me, I'm squeaking. Anyways, but I said, Tex, do I have a minute to run get some water? I'm like losing my voice. But anyways, yeah, I had some internet problems, and I was like, oh, please don't mess up, please. I had 11 minutes when the internet finally, she got it up for me. Best boss in the world, just so you know, and just in case she runs across my show one day. She really is. She's precious. Anyway, but Donna, tell me, I'm curious, you said so it went from there. So I know you said that you would take off running, poor grandmother and all them for trying to chase you, and you feel bad for that now. I feel bad for things I did. Y'all, let me tell you how crazy I was before we get back to Donna. When she said that, I thought, my poor mama. At 16 and 17, every day, I was supposed to come home with my 4 sisters on the bus. I would run away every day to the same house. Yeah, and when mother would come to the house, my friend's house, every day to get me at 16 and 17 after school, she'd get me home and whoop me before Daddy got home. And she didn't want him to whoop me. because she knew what would happen. But she would take care of it every single day. At 16 and 17, my mother whooped me because I run away every day to the same house.
Well, I just did not. Well, I didn't like school. I didn't like. It wasn't that I couldn't do the schoolwork. I had no problem doing it. I didn't like being pinned up inside. It was like torture, you know.
I could see that about you. I could see that.
I was just, oh my God. And like I said, I had two older brothers. So I rode bulls. I actually rode bulls.
Lord. See what I mean? Y'all?
My brothers did it. I had to do it.
The question I was going to ask you was, Donna, you said that it was like became a little of a normal, like that, you know, they just watched. Okay, so was there ever a time when it didn't feel normal, like you got a little scared? Was there ever a time when you got older and it scared you that they were there, or was you always the same, even accepting
well,
of it?
well, like I said, they were always there. They never was violent, but always very cautious. Dad taught me that. And when I was about 12, I would go down. There's a creek down below the house. And of course, being a kid, I'd head for that creek in the summertime, take my book, grab my pony. I'd go down and I just ground time. I'd drop the bit out and loosen the saddle if I had one. Normally, I didn't use the saddle. I just jump on bareback. And he would just graze around there. There's a cedar grove up around it, and I'd lay there. There was a little waterfalls like, and then the blue clay, the bottom of the creek was like, it's smooth, you know. And I'd lay there about, you know, maybe 12 inches of water or whatever would run through there. And I'd lay there in that water. Of course, as soon as I got away from my house, that hair came down. My grandma, oh my God. But she would wrap it up in them strings. She'd just tear strips of cloth and braid it into the hair and then wrap it and tie it. So I'd laid them up on this big rock here, and I'd laid them up on it. And I kind of fell asleep. And when I woke up, I looked over, and those were gone. And then first thought I thought was my brother snuck down there because they know to get me in trouble, and I get a switch. And, you know, my grandma put the switch to you. And I'm looking all around, and I thought, well, but then up through the cedars, it was getting evening times, the shadows was coming down through the cedars. And as I watched going up there, I seen my rib, you know, my strings moving up through there. And I was like, what the heck, you know, is it the boys? Then I seen the dark strap, you know, carrying them. And he went on up through there. So the next day, of course, I'm not staying out of the woods. The next day I go back, and where he'd taken my ribbons from, he'd left behind an arrow straightener. You know, it's a rock with a hole in it. You know what I'm talking about. They use it because you nap the arrow head, but the shaft, you cut that and you use that. And as you run that's some of my artifacts there. There's a straightener in there. Anyway, you run it.
We love you. Thank you, Tess.
Some paint pots and the faces. Those just hand me downs. Those ones with the faces in them. Those been handed down from early 1800s, from generation to generation. But they had left that behind. I've gotten over the years. They've left me other things, shells and rocks and a lot of actually native artifacts would be. But I never had a lot of getting scared until
thank you, Gary.
When my dad got sick. My mom got sick first, and I moved her here to take care of her. And then my dad had a stroke. He was 84, and I had within just a short time of moving him here. Like my house, my big house set up against the woods. My bedroom, I built my house here because I bought vacant ground. It was all windows. I had plate glass windows, so I love my woods. And then I had the old time screen door where I would leave my door open with the creek and the woods. I didn't have to have no air conditioner or nothing. You know, it stays cool.
So the wall behind you, all that, you built that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I noticed that as soon as I seen you on here. I love stuff like that.
This is my staff's. This one here on the end up there, I've got it attached to the wall, but it is. It has like the curve, and So yeah, hand-me-downs. I have a lot of stuff like that that's been given, but
Pat Garrett, hey, buddy.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you for coming. We got, oh my gosh, Donna Coper, she's amazing. Anyways, Pat Garrett, good to see you, buddy. I appreciate you coming. Tex, love you, and Pops, Gary Spikes, you're awesome. Thank you so much. You realize, and I'm sure Tex knows this very well, that is the first time that I have ever got my first gift. So thank you so much for Pops and Tex. You're awesome. Yes, hey, Pat Garrett and Marion Elbot, you sweet angel, you. Okay. Donna, I want you to, when I told you, you said they stowed your little hair things where your grandmother
Right.
braided your hair, and you thought it was your brother's,
Yep.
but it ended up not being your brother's.
No, no, they had taken them, and um, one other time at the creek, which was a little bit concerning because for some reason it seems like they have an ability to kind of put you to sleep. Um, I mean, I would lay down there and I'd read the book, I would fall asleep. But the one time I was moved from the water, but I didn't wake up. It was more when I woke up, it was different. And of course, I wasn't hurt. I wasn't scratched. I wasn't hurt in any way, but I'd been moved. And I knew it, not a human, because with me, when I'm sleeping, somebody walking close to me and I'll come awake. I sleep with shot under my pillow. I got a sawed-off shotgun under my pillow. I will wake up.
You said they moved you. They literally moved you.
I was moved from, they brought me from the water up into where that big rock where I put my stuff. It was a big rock, big flat rock.
Lord, Bobby, yeah.
I was
I love y'all. Every one of y'all love you.
But on that day, I had went to the barn. Of course, I said I was around 12 then. And I went down to get the pony. And when I was getting him ready, I kind of felt like somebody was watching me. And then when you grow up in the country, you just, you learn to pay attention. And I just felt like there was something watching me that day. But I went on. That was the day that I got moved. It was like I said, they didn't hurt me, didn't do anything to me. There's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing changed, but I was moved, which and the time frame, I don't sleep that sound, so that that was different. But I never, no violent. I hear the calls. I use
never tore anything up. They were always peaceful.
Oh,
Bobby,
they
love you, Bobby.
they would get into stuff like of course we had the cellars, and we had the orchard, so that kind of stuff, the food wise, or the feed barrels.
So they would just take it and it's okay, because it was large enough, like there was enough of it.
Yeah. So the corn cribs were full, and they things that way. But honestly, they'd always find something left behind. It wouldn't be nothing big or anything, and they didn't hurt anything. Animal wise, they wasn't. I never had an animal hurt until after I moved Dad here, and like I said, within a short time of moving Dad here, I smelled. The first night the smell woke me up because I had my door open, and again I thought coyotes, because a wet coyote, and I've got coyotes on the property that'll come down. And I didn't pay too much attention. The second night I saw the dark shape. Of course, my whole walls are black. They're glass, and I don't have curtains up. I don't put shades up because I'm back against the woods. I got 23 acres. There's no one supposed to be around my house back here. And believe me, I dissuade them if they get too close. So by the third night, every night I'd have to go down. I put a trailer in my front yard, and that's where Mom and Dad was, because Dad didn't walk very well, and I'd have to go and put him to bed. I took care of him all the time. But he wouldn't go to bed till like midnight because he liked to watch the news and whatever he wanted out with it. But when I come outside, I carry a pistol with me just for snakes, coyotes, whatever. And as I got down there, I had a big cedar tree, and I seen something behind that cedar tree, and I thought it was a bear because we do have bears. And so I hurried up and got in the house, and Dad kind of laughed at me. He said, "What in the world's wrong with you? You crazy?" And I said, "No, Dad, there's something out there." I said, "I think it's a bear." He said, "That's right behind that tree." He said, "You show me." And I helped him through the door. And he said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "He's just watching." He said, "He won't hurt you. You just leave him alone. He ain't going to hurt nothing. You just watch him." And it did. But it went on for a while. And I'd moved. We sold off all the cattle and everything. He had one pig left. I moved that pig over, which was now a big full-grown sow hog, about 400 pounds. So you know how big the pen was, how high it had to be. And of course, she was a big pet. You know, we grew her by hand. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, I hear these outrageous screams I had never heard before in my life, ever. It was like an elephant trumpeting, this just horrible. And I scared the bejeebies out of me, let me tell you. I jumped up. I'm a widow. I lost my husband and youngest son years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry, darling.
No. So I believe I have that. Like I said, I have a British Enfield. It's a 303. I have armor piercing shells. I can blow up a motor block. No. I can. And I leave that, it sits there, but I didn't pick it up. I just went out the door in my nightgown, barefooted, and I headed down I hear it down by where that hog pen was. And when I got down there, it's still screaming. And I decide, you're crazy, nobody knows you're outside. Get your butt back to the house because Dad can't get outside to help me. And so I went back to the house, but I could still hear it hollering. And it went over that hog pen. It stepped over. It made like step, and then, in the mud. And then it went through that, and then you had to go through a creek. And I had my chicken coop on down. And it tore through that chicken coop like it was paper, it demolished it. And chickens just flying everywhere. But after I got in the house, I stood in the door and I listened. And when I moved Dad had a bull mastiff and a pit bull mix, his old dog, Jake. He was an old dog. He was a big dog. And I heard him scream. And, first instinct is I'm going to go to take care of that dog. But I could not go out that door. It was like something physically stopped me from getting out that door. I don't know if it was my own fear but I couldn't do it. And but it traveled on down, all the way down there. I hear these. I can't describe to you these screams that it was. And it went down. And there's like maybe 3 miles down before you get onto the main. Because I'm on the country roads. Then there's a main highway that, once you get down there, and there's an old lady. She had a mobile home down there. And she called the cops because it went past her house, and she had little dogs.
Please, it didn't hurt the dog. I'm sitting here waiting in anticipation.
It got Jake. But anyway, she called the cops, and they come out. And the cop, he's like kind of laughing and making fun. And he's like, you heard a coyote. I was like, whatever you say. I ain't going to argue with you, but there ain't no coyote that walks this earth. That was that. And but all the way up there is now about another 6 miles up, and all the way up through there's houses. And all the way up through there, it went after dogs. And then back in the back there's about a 400-acre tract of, at that time, nobody had touched those tracts of timber for over 200 years. It's not been touched. This is, it's called the Valley of the Dead. It's old Shawnee burial grounds, that kind of thing.
So you definitely know that hadn't been touched in over 200 years. Definitely. Like, it's not just a guess. It is a fact. So if it's Shawnee land and it was worth, no wonder you know about it.
Well, I tend the graves, the mound.
I love that stuff about you. That even as a small kid, your daddy told you, here, you have to work, even at 6 years old, to sell stuff, to learn the value. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, I worked the fields. Let me tell you, I set more tobacco crawling on my knees with an old peg take a wooden peg and you peg it out, or the old hand jobber. You know, we did acres before we ever got a sitter that a tractor pulled. Yeah, we did it by hand. I worked. I set tobacco, I hoed tobacco, I cut tobacco, I hung tobacco, I stripped tobacco. You know, it was just the only thing he wouldn't allow me to go when we took it for sale, you know, to the warehouses. I get so mad 'cause my brothers could go. And I'd beg, and he said, no, ain't no place for no girl to be. And I begged and pleaded. Well, finally one year, he said, all right, that's what you're wanting, I'll take you. Well, let me tell you, he was right, and I went to the car.
Jason and Val, hello, I love y'all. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead. I'm sorry, baby.
But you know,
It took you.
The next morning I found Dad's dog, old Jake, and he was alive, but through his hindquarters, and it's like it literally picked him up and bit this massive bites through the private parts in his back. And I thought, I mean, it's just like it would bit him in two, just like, as you know, like, you know, and I honestly, I didn't think he
I mean,
would.
in several different places. Surely it did.
It was just like it. And no, it's just like it picked it up like this and just bit down through it.
Are
And
you telling me that it was the size of a large Bigfoot mouth and it made an impression in the skin? And
oh, the teeth are like this. You know, the punctures are this long.
See, I didn't know all that because
Yeah,
mine was from a
punctures.
distance. So as far
Yeah.
as teeth or anything,
Yeah,
I didn't know about teeth. I knew about size. And I was fixing to ask you, I wanted you to give me details, if you don't mind, about what the smell was like to you, you know, compared to other people's, you know, interpretations of that. And also what they appeared to you, you know, to look like what sizes, colors, things like that.
There's,
But thank you for the teeth information because
well, there's different colors and there's different sizes. There's different smells. You have like that really nasty, wet dog, skunky, bad urine, you know, that kind of smell. And then you have an earthy smell. It's like, you know, been in the dirt. Um, it's different. It's not that really bad, rotten, bad. Um, it has, I've felt the honeysuckle smell. Like, I guess it's kind of like what they eat, what they get into. I've seen, you know, the dark colors, the black, the reddish brown, tan and white. Different color eyes. I've seen different color eyes. Just like us. Dad's old one. He's still here. You know, Dad, that one was attached to Dad. That was his from that. The first time Dad saw it, he was maybe 3 or 4. And he was at the cabin where he grew up back in those woods. And he said, of course, you know, they don't have no bathroom or nothing. This is an old cabin in the woods. And my grandma would take
on that old cabin.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love for Tex to be able to bring it up, but I don't know if he can or not. But I'm telling y'all, we're talking about an old cabin. And the one, tell them if Tex can bring it up, which one your granddaddy is. Because you can tell they don't have things easy, y'all. I mean, not at all. But there it is.
Yeah.
Tell them which one's your granddaddy.
In the center is my dad. That's my daddy in the center. And that's my granddaddy's cabin. That's where Dad was born in that cabin right there.
Look at their little plants rolled up. Bless their little heart.
Look at the shoes. I was like, a big hole in the toe of the shoe.
Yes.
And he
and the hose that probably wind gets through in the winter in the hose in the cabin. Look at
you can see the chunks there. But that was the barn. You know, the main cabin. Of course, you know, my grandpa was married before, and he had his family before, and my dad's half sisters. They had the old time fireplace. You know, they didn't have stoves; they had a fireplace they cooked on. And the one, of course, they're long skirts, you know, back then. And the one caught her skirts on fire, and the other one tried to put her out, and they burned, and the house burned.
Oh, wow!
They're buried. It's called Buzzard Roost. It's part of the Conservancy owns it now, but they're buried around there alongside where the house was. That's where their graves are. So, you know, and that one right there.
Look at that! Oh wow, I love that.
That is a group picture, and you see she's the only native in that. I didn't send you the whole picture.
Beautiful. See, I just think y'all are beautiful. I just think that I just think y'all are beautiful.
That's back in the woods of those roosts. That's where that family owned the ground, and that would have been early 1800s.
Now, is that your grandmother?
That is my great grandmother.
Oh, your great grandmother.
Wow. Each generation, the Shawnee comes down through the line. Each generation. So yeah, and sitting beside of her, you can't really see him. He's on the one with the white with the bib strap there, or gala strap. That's actually, that's a husband. You see how young she is. She's probably 14.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. And I have 2 letters that my uncle had been handed down, and they were preserved from 1797. And they tell of them coming to move the Shawnee and take them away. And my grandmother was hidden. They didn't call it, they hid what they were. They called them Black Dutch. So they wouldn't take them away. And guarded, very, very guarded. And to get the only information you'll find is in the old family Bibles, where they register, the births and the deaths. So you can't go and find a birth. My dad didn't even have a birth certificate. And I mean,
wow.
When he was taking him for his Social Security, after he's old, I said, Dad, you need your birth certificate. He said, I don't got no birth certificate. He said, I was born at home. So I had to get his aunt, who thank God was still alive, and an older brother went to court for a judge to swear what date he was born on, and to get something that way, because there's no birth certificates.
Y'all see what I mean by things are so easy, but we're not easy, but you know what I mean. They've improved so much for us to be able to walk into an office and say, okay, here's my birth certificate. I need or here's my whatever. So, oh my goodness. Let's see, Bobby Yant says my father-in-law's mother was Cherokee. My ex-husband was full-blooded. So, anyways, and so that's single. I'm single and happy.
You sent us several pictures.
Yeah, if you don't mind, do you mind going and letting her tell you? There's a picture of hair that fascinated me. Would you go here? Yes. Will you explain to everybody what that is? And hey, Virax and Jason, I'm so glad all y'all are here. Thank you so much for coming, Marion. I love you.
Well, that is. Can I tell you? I don't know exactly what it is or where it came from. It's about 6 foot long, probably 2 foot wide. And there's a waterfalls here that we found different artifacts. And I was going to show you this because my grandson actually found this at the waterfalls. Can you see it? It's at first I called it a foot, but it's more like a hand. You can see the fingers, but
wow,
that can't. This is a petrified. This is like petrified stone now. But if you see what I'm saying. See the claw, the fingers, and there's 2 of these.
Does it look? I mean, like, can you tell the definition on the other side? Or okay, there it is. Oh yeah, you can actually see. Yeah,
and then you see the
wow.
It's like fingers.
Wow.
So this was found. He found this a few years ago. We found a lot of different things in this area, and I've been taking my cousin for cancer treatments, so I hadn't had a lot of time in the woods. And it's it's 2 or 3. I don't even remember how long it is. 2 or 3 weeks ago. I've lost track of time. But we went up, and we've had some flooding in that creek where that waterfalls is. It's washed down through there, but there's mossy and, there's foliage. But they're sticking up out of the ground. And my son, he goes, what the heck is that? So he starts pulling. And he's pulling. And he's pulling. And I was like, crap, it's hair. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, is somebody dead and buried in there. But then
did right?
it is a massive amount. It's coarse. It's
You said it was over 6 foot long.
yeah,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Of course, when we pulled it out, it's wet, and it's got some little vines and sticks, where it's been in the earth. But there's more. I had him stop. I was like, stop, because in my mind it clicks. And I was like, we might be messing up DNA. There might be DNA in there that we won't collect. I don't think about stuff like that because I have researchers that talks to me, and I was like, I don't think about stuff like that.
Well, there's going to be plenty of roots for them to do DNA testing on that because that's like long and thick and
there's no hide. It's not like you would have a cow hide and the hair growing out or something like. There's no hide. That's independent hair. Like you would take your hair like this.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. So that like. Are you saying, in other words, scalp? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, there's no scalp.
Okay.
But there's more in there that we stopped before we didn't pull it all out. So haven't looked back. But the thing about that was probably about 2 weeks before we found that, my granddaughter, who is 7, she's been with me since school was out. And she likes staying with me because I let her play. I've got a fur rug.
Donna, he said there very well could have been a skeleton that accompanied that hair still in the waterfall. I swear, when she told me that, she said, stop pulling. We might be destroying DNA. I thought, Lord, I probably could have kept pulling and pulled the bones.
Well, I haven't. I actually thought about that, and I haven't went back because I'm not experienced enough to, and I talked to. There's a researcher that I've talked to him for a couple of years, and he gives me advice sometimes about things. Or I'll find something, I'll ask him. He'll say, "Hey, that's crap. That's nothing," or whatever. Or, "Hey, you need to look closer on that." His name's Tim Vogel. There's the Vogel brothers from I don't know where they're at. Anyway, he's far away. But he told me, and he's like, and that's what he said. So try to find a piece that I didn't touch with my bare hands, or he did. And maybe cut a piece out. He had somebody could send it away to check it.
Okay,
so
I've got somebody I can put you in touch with also.
Yeah, I've had different ones, and I was like, because I don't. I mean, people ask me. I was like, I have. Like the night that thing went through the hog pen, I had the castings from that. They were 18 inches long. They're like 9 inches wide or 18 inches long. They're massive. And they stepped in that mud. It wasn't just one footprint before anybody says, oh, there's only one foot. It was a step, so I cast them. But they were in my house that burned, so I did lose them. But I did have them. And those right there, that is 13 inches of snow. That is a line of steps. And on there you can see a regular size 7 shoe beside the step, beside that footprint.
Yes, I can see the
small. And it is over 3 times the size of that shoe. So it's over 21 inches long. I'm estimating around 24 inches long. The lady she's actually my sister-in-law, my husband that passed away. It's his youngest sister. And she wouldn't let anybody else have it. She said, I'll talk to you and I'll tell you. And you see how far that stride is? Yeah. Those strides are over 6 foot, like a step. Not only did she get those steps, and again, 13 inches of snow is what them steps is in. She works home health, and she said that it was next morning or the morning after, and she was going out, and she took me to the place, and I videoed it. I actually did like a little interview with her and videoed all of it, and she's seen it. There's a power line there in the woods, and it was down. She's like, it was down digging in the ground. It's probably about a mile from the river where she saw it. But it's been 14 or 16 years ago. She says, I still hear it. It still is in the woods. I hear it making, she's like, it doesn't scream. It kind of does the, woo, that sound. She has this beautiful, beautiful yard. She has a big brick home, and then beside of it is an A-frame. That's where my mother-in-law, which was almost 100 when she passed away, she had moved her to that A-frame. Now, my speculation is this: just like Dad's, because my mother-in-law is Shawnee too. Just like my dad's watcher came for him, I believe hers came to watch over her till she passed away.
Well, people are asking, Donna. I don't mean to interrupt, but there's several questions I still have, and we don't have 13 minutes to be out here so Tex can do his other show. So I just want to make sure people are asking. First of all, Roger Blair, I heard you, buddy, that it was your great grandmother. I think you said that was Cherokee. And then we had Don Moore. I want to tell you hello, and Eddie and Jen, the vlogs. We love you. Thank you so much for coming. But Donna. I was going to ask you, everybody keeps asking, so I got to say this before I forget. Are you still experiencing at all any Bigfoot activity where you're at now?
Oh, yes. I sent you that picture from my bathroom window.
Oh, I forgot. Text, did I not send you those? Oh,
that's a tree break there that I found last year. There was fungus on it. But you have the face that I took.
You sent them last night, and I forgot to send them to Tex. Oh, it's my fault. No. Her granddaughter, tell them the story about what the pictures were.
Well, my granddaughter.
Real quick, if you want to text me those pictures.
I am right now. Tell them the story.
Oh, anyway, she's staying with me, and I have to go out the window and back of my couch. And she come in, it's like 3 a.m, saying, Mama, something's looking in the window at me. And she was scared crappy. So she got up in bed with me. And a couple nights later, I was listening to a podcast of Mike Miller, who comes here, and he had some vocals that I was actually with him when he recorded one of them. The other ones was before. And my bathroom, I went in my bathroom. I have a sliding glass window that my bathroom used to be a bedroom. And it goes back, and I can walk out it. There's no screen in it. But when I went in there to close that window, I smell the skunky smell. And I just stuck my arm out the window like that with my phone in it because I'm listening to the podcast on the phone. And I snapped 2 pictures. And the next morning, I come back in, finished listening to the podcast. Next morning, I checked my pictures. And that's when I found what was in the pictures I sent to her. So I don't know if she got them to you or not, but
I'm sending them texts. That's what I was telling you. I meant to do this last night. Lord, when your mind gets on something else, you forget stuff. All right, let me see. All right, Donna. All right, here they are. So I'm just going to save them. I want to just make sure I've saved them. Save image, and then I'm sending them straight to text. Y'all know how this works. But you got to save them. So I had to go to Facebook and save them. All right, here we go.
What's from my creek? Those footprints are there.
Gallery.
Those were last year.
I have to walk myself through it. Y'all know that I'm still learning all this new stuff. These nuts. Donna's #1 fan. I thought I was. Thank you for coming, these nuts. Okay, let's see. I just.
What are these, Don?
Those are the footprints in the snow. Because
okay.
Multiples, like I said, she did a very good job of documenting them. And this lady is, she wouldn't tell you a lie. She is a Christian through and through. I mean, soft-spoken, and she was, they bothered her.
They're on their way right now, Tex, and I just hit myself in the eye. I was so excited to get them to him. I forgot myself out. But look, while those pictures are headed to Tex, he's fixing to receive them right now. I just wanted to tell you, tonight was the first time that I ever received a gift. And to Tex, Mary Spikes, Bobby Yance, Keith from 1675, Tex helped me out, try to remember. I love y'all. I sincerely love y'all, and I loved you before you gave me one donation. Just remember that, okay? So I just want to tell you, this just makes me want to hug you.
I can see that. You're a hugger, aren't you? I am too.
Just know I love everybody. But Donna, I heard what you said, sweetheart. I caught that, that you're going through a sickness. And I just want to tell you that me and all of my subscribers with these big, beautiful hearts will be praying for you. Do you hear me?
I appreciate it. Judy is my first cousin, and she's my other part. We grew up together, and That's what we said. We've been apart for a few years. Her husband passed away too,
Oh,
and she's had breast cancer. She had cancer on top of her head, and of course she's getting older too. You know, she's older than I am, but we made it through the treatments, and praying that the next round that everything will come out clear on it. But it's
well, now you have a bunch of more people that's pulling for you. We just love you, and so you know we're going to be praying for you, girl.
oh, nothing better than prayer. That's
How strong it is.
that's it.
Miss Donna is a treasure. I could sit and talk with her for hours. Me too, Pat. I thought it was just me. I said, I love her. I love her voice. I love how she carries herself. I just love her. And that she had things so tough and she come out so strong. Trinity Rain, I would take Donna up if she called and wanted to come on tomorrow. It's up to Donna. When she feels good, she can call me and say, I'm ready. Y'all know how I am. If you want to come on, just call me. Reach out, tell me your stories. Or if you just want to visit, you can do that too, because you know I love y'all.
Anytime. I've had a great time. Anytime I'll be more than happy to come back. I love talking to you.
All right, here's what the granddaughter's seen outside through the window, looking at her through the window.
Like I said, there's no screen in between it. There's nothing to make a reflection. That is pitch black.
Look at his teeth right here. Look at the teeth and the lips. Look at the nose.
My speculation is he's a younger one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the calls, when I say, but he had been hanging around because the creek is right directly back. I'm in the woods, I'm in the woods. So he's been hanging around. It did give me a little bit of concern because of my granddaughter, because she's 7, and I haven't had a lot of time to. I started teaching her, but she has no fear. This child is me reincarnated. She has no fear.
Well, they're asking you, was that 2 ears sticking up in that photo? Don Moore was asking.
There is the eyes, the nose, the lips, the mouth, the chin. You can see the chin, and down, if in the you can see like the chest area, like an arm chest area.
Okay, there was 2, so I wanted to make sure I said it. Did you get 2 texts?
Yep. Got one that's zoomed in and one that's not.
Yeah, the one is the original picture, and so you can see the face in it, and then I blew that face up. But if you look down in that tree where that was at, and now my house sets up a little high, so we had to be pretty tall to be at that level. But there's a tree, a white oak tree, right behind it, within 10 feet of my window, and the bark is skinned down. And there's like sliding nails where it dug down into the tree and it knocked off a limb. So but I've had them actually jump onto the roof back here. That's where I built it. And like I said, I have the Amish high barns. So I don't have a house that has that double. So my ceiling, I've had my ceiling go chunk. So usually not a big one, but the small ones do like to be a little childish sometimes.
Hey, Freaky Geek. Hey, buddy. Thank you so much. Hey, Epleris Busto. That's the name we can't pronounce. Epleris Busto.
Carl?
We appreciate you coming. No matter what, if I pronounced it right or not, we still appreciate you coming. And Freaky Geek, of course. Y'all, I love you. And I want to tell you, I will have her back when she tells me that she has an opening and that she's having a good day. We're going to have her back because I just love you, Donna. And I appreciate you coming with all that you had going on. And I didn't know nothing about it till just now. So that's how good she is at being strong and hiding what she's going through. But we love you and we're praying for you, and reach out to me no matter what you need. You hear me?
Thank you so much. I've had a great time.
And y'all
appreciate the prayer. I'll take all of that I can get.
I love every one of y'all, and thank you so much for my first night doing this being special. You know what I mean. And I loved you before 1 cent was given. Just remember that, okay? Tex, you got a show at 8, don't you? You don't? Well, all right then. So I'm just going to end it for no reason at all. I've been sitting here rushing, thinking you had a show. Well, that's professional.
Real quick before we jump off air here, Donna, it's been wonderful meeting you. I love the history. I love everything that you've shown us.
I do too.
It's incredible. And just to reiterate what Selena was saying, you got a bunch of people praying for you.
I appreciate
So
it. I really do. She's a very special lady. She has taken care. We're caretakers. That's part of our heritage too. And she is. When I lost my husband, she was there. She fed me. She put my clothes on me. She took me to the bathroom because I lost my husband and son at the same time. So you can imagine going for ice cream. They were going for ice cream.
Oh,
And so
strong. The lady that you're looking at, just so you know, is strong. That's all I'm saying.
if I I had 3 other children to care for and raise, and then I had, I can't tell you how many kids I've raised because I've raised other family members' children's, and every kid. My husband was the kind of man that I'd come home from work and I'd have 15 boys in the yard, heads under them, But it wasn't enough for me to crawl down in that motor because I worked on cars too. I used to race cars. Shh, don't tell.
Thank you, Freaky Kid. Thank y'all. There's power, wonder working power in the blood of the Lamb. Absolutely, Bobby. You know how I feel about that. Thank you, Freaky Kid. That was so sweet. And I love y'all, Eddie and Jen. And we love Donna and Tex and Pops and Bobby and Keith and all of y'all that made my night even more special than it would have been just seeing their names. But you do realize that I loved you. Don't forget that. Okay? Even for tonight. Just keep that in mind. It's very
and y'all
important.
don't forget. I'll do the dirty work here. Y'all don't forget. Super chats and super thanks are open. And super thanks is really cool because you don't have to catch the show live if you want to show support. There's a thing called super thanks that they have now, and you can. It's the same as a super chatters or a super sticker.
Well, see, he knows about that. I didn't even know what to say. I don't know nothing about none of that. So, yes, you got to do the dirty work because I don't know how none of this works.
But Donna, once again, thank you again. Appreciate it. It was fascinating listening to you. Fascinating meeting. I can't wait till part 2.
Yes.
Anytime, just give me a date, and I got a couple more things this month for some other people.
We want more pictures. And if you decide to go back to the waterfall, I'm just saying, call me. I'll go with you.
Well, I'm going back because I plan on seeing how much more is there and what's at the base of it.
Take somebody with you, pistol pecking mama.
Oh, well, my son, now that's one thing. My oldest son, he lives here and takes care of the farm. And I don't get to go unless he goes with me. He's pretty protective, even though I'm a very good shot.
I bet you are. I told y'all she's strong. Oh, I love this woman. Okay, I love every one of y'all. So it is 8:00. It is breaking my heart, but I've got to go give somebody their medicine. I love y'all extremely, extremely, a surmountable amount. And I always will. I have a feeling. Okay. I love you so much, Donna. Please get in touch with me when you want some open time to talk.
We sure will.
Text. Love all y'all. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.